Bitcoin and the crypto market have currently been showing a bit of strength. We saw across the weekend we challenged this $68,000 mark. We just got above it and were rejected. But this is all part of price action. We can see that Bitcoin is starting to turn around. We must keep our eye on these trend lines. Looking across the past week, Bitcoin has been doing quite well. It's just retracing at the moment, but these retracements are very normal because when you go up a lot, you need to retrace. You need to gain your strength or gather your strength. One thing that's really interesting, Binance Coin, BNB, the world's largest exchange trading token, has been going down while Bitcoin has been coming up. This is a bit of a diversion to what we normally see. Solana has been just on fire. It's been doing so incredibly well. The memes that were shining about a week ago have since lost a little bit of their luster. But what you will find when things come up really steeply, they just need to consolidate. You get sector rotation, or in crypto's case, narrative rotation. What we can notice in the top 8, we can see currently XRP coming down, ADA coming down, SHIB and Dogecoin coming down. In fact, they're all coming down because Bitcoin is coming down, and we know no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. Looking a little bit further into the top 16, how is AVAX going? It's going really quite well. You can see Tron, like Binance Coin, is diversionary. This is pretty intriguing stuff. What about DOT? It's been doing rather well. Chainlink on fire, like Solana. Bitcoin Cash, really well. What about Near? Near went far and just pulling back at the current time. Matic did really well and then just retracing at the current time. Litecoin was doing well, but just retracing. Gravitational analysis is really powerful because it gives us a bit of an insight into where the market is going relative to Bitcoin's gravity. In the crypto market, Bitcoin's gravity is the ruler, and there's no question. When we get negative divergences such as Binance Coin and Tron, that's something that we need to watch out for. Please let me know in the comments, what does this divergence between Tron and BNB mean to you? And also note that when Bitcoin goes up, we have a over 95% probability that the associated cryptos will go up as well. What about if Bitcoin comes down? Well, if Bitcoin comes down, there's also a 95% probability that what you're looking at will come down as well. Not always. Sometimes we can overshoot because the shorts can get consequentially liquidated. They just get liquidated upon liquidation upon liquidation. But that usually causes blow-offs. When there's light trading volume, you'll see stuff happen like what's happening with Litecoin. Litecoin does not have heavy trading volume. Therefore, if Bitcoin comes down, it can disproportionately push Litecoin down. And we're seeing a similar thing with Matic at the current time. It's good to keep your eyes on these things because they can give you a bit of an insight into where the market is weakening and also where the market is strengthening. Major market indice health is a really important thing for us to look at, and when we look at the S&P 500, it's gaining in strength. Now, what does this mean for crypto and Bitcoin? It's likely to gain in strength as well, because as you can see, when the blue line, that's Bitcoin, and we know what Bitcoin does, the entire crypto market does, but Bitcoin is influenced and highly correlated directionally with the major market indices. You can see it for yourself. It's really easy to see the divergences and the following of Bitcoin with the major indices. Right at the moment, we can see a little bit of weakness and now starting to get strength. You can see that weakness starting to get strength. And Bitcoin has not perfectly followed it. And people think, oh, it's only correlated if it perfectly follows it. Nah, that's not true. That's not the way correlation works. What we need to do is to stack probabilities. Financial markets are incredibly complex. A lot of people will make very simplistic comments on how things work, but it's always much deeper than that. We can see the Russell 2000, the futures there just point to a little bit of negative price action. The Russell is the most volatile major indice, and you can look at the Russell because it's got such good signals. The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq are covered inside the service, which means they've got indicators. I'm going to be adding the Dow and the Russell 2000 in as well to give you a really good overview of how the markets work. That will be from next month onwards. To understand where the crypto market is going, it's really good to understand where the Forex market is going, especially the DXY. Now, looking at the DXY, you'd need to invert it to try to get some sort of directional correlation between it and Bitcoin. But what we can do instead is just use the inverted pairs like the euro dollar and the Aussie dollar. They're already inverted for us. We can see as the euro comes up, we saw positive price momentum inside Bitcoin. But as the fiber came down or the euro dollar came down, we saw a weakening in Bitcoin and crypto. But when it started to surge up, that translated into a surge. And now we've just seen it going down. It's important to look far and wide. Don't get conned by influencers who just look inside the crypto market. Crypto is a really tiny market. It's influenced by Forex and it's influenced by the major indices. The Fed keeping rates higher for longer has been a great cause of concern, especially for the regional banks who have lovingly been bought out by larger rivals. But when you look at JP Morgan Chase, which of course is a pretty big bank, what you see is very positive price action. We've actually got over a recent high. The major indices are looking really good. In terms of longer term trend, it's all positive. If the banks were getting weak, we'd be a little bit worried because this can throw a tremendous amount of strain on the financial system. After all, the banks are the heart of the finance system. And when we look at the regional banking ETF, that's starting to gain positive momentum. That means the banks and the regional banks are controlling their balance sheets and just mitigating any problems with higher for longer interest rates. What's currently causing the lack or negative momentum inside the markets? It's undoubtedly the increase in yields. When we get increasing yields, that throws a lot of pressure on a lot of things. We've seen that the dollar, the DXY, has been decaying recently. That's put a good rally in to crypto and a good rally in for gold, silver, and other commodities. But we can see the DXY is starting to base. It's potentially starting to turn around, and we know that there's a lot of weakness showing inside the crypto market, even though the uptrend is currently positive. Retracements are to be bought in bull markets. Overall, the markets from an investor perspective are looking quite good, especially the financials. If the financials decay, we're in trouble. A lot of people in the crypto market want the banks to fail because, after all, the banks are very authoritarian on how we can spend or even access our money, and we don't like that. But the banks are really important to the financial system, and that's something that people need to be aware of as well. If we're looking at the various sectors, we can see materials doing quite well. Consumer discretionary did suffer a bit of a hit recently. Energy is doing well, and we've seen oil prices come up just of late. Industrials are just a little bit wobbling around, but information technology, which is literally driving the market at the moment, has done well, and it's just retracing. These kind of retracements are very, very normal. They're buying opportunities, not selling opportunities. But of course, you need to know what you're doing. When we look at liquidity inside the main markets, we had a bit of a suck out of liquidity. And when we get these suck outs of liquidity, it's not generally good. The markets are like addicted to a sugar rush, and we can see that liquidity is pumping back into the market, which is supporting Bitcoin and all of the indices. Understanding where markets can turn around is very important to traders and also investors. We saw total crypto market cap Just these levels of structural resistance have been an absolute pain for the buyers to get across. The sellers have been very strong, and they've managed to push the entire crypto market down to a level of structural support. Structural support is really important for us because when we come down, we expect price can go down a little bit further, but we expect this kind of positive price action for a bullish case. For a negative case, we would expect an underside retest. This is the underside, that's the retest and the resumption down. But there's also another level of support below. A very big thank you to everybody who commented in yesterday's video or in the previous video, and I hope you had a fantastic weekend. When we look at Bitcoin, we can see that it's just been trying to get above this $67,000 structural resistance level, but it's just failing at the current time. It's moving down and total is becoming weak. We have around that 65,000 mark a level of structural support, and if we get a continued movement down, we know that the alts are going to bleed. We could get an underside retest and a resumption down here, or alternately we could come back to the $67,000 mark, confirm it as support, and just pump up to the $70,000 area. Please let me know in the comments which possibility do you think is more likely. And a big thank you to TF Theta. Just recently, the spike in yields has been the problem, and when we look at Ethereum, we can see that Ethereum has structural support around that $3,000 area. It's tried to come up through this fresh air gap, but it's still on a consolidation path. And for members of the CTKSMethod service, I'm going to be putting out an analysis, updating you on where the paths are going for all of the Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 charts later today. We have such an awesome global family, and thank you very much to Kirk from San Diego for his very kind comment. Knowing how the particular charts are tracking the normalized consolidation path, the positive price path, or the negative price path is really important. You need to gain your bearings and you need to see how structure is interacting with price. You'll find that you often get movement between the normalized positive price path and the consolidation path, even the negative normalized price path. What we're trying to do is to predict price at the end of the month, and it gives some idea as to where price could go based on structural analysis. But always be in mind that all the charts are influenced by all the other charts. No chart should walk alone. And thank you for Oscar, who reached out and just commented, success is an absent teacher, because it is. Setbacks in life are never setbacks. They're set-ups for your next life rally. All price paths are based on structural levels, and we can see from Solana has been doing really well. It's currently following the normalized positive price path, and it's been doing fantastically. And a big shout out to someone you know. Someone you know said that I learned how to draw the price paths through Tier 2 certification and beyond. Someone you know also said the financial and positive excellence lessons and the daily creed have changed the trajectory of my life from consolidation to the upside. Just such beautiful words. Thank you, my friend. These CTKS price paths are all about understanding where price can go from a normalized perspective. It's how we do our three-dimensional risk management. We understand the price can go positive, it can go neutral, or it can go negative. And sometimes within a month, depending on what yields and bonds are doing, it can do actually all three. And many thanks to Al for his very kind comment. He says, commitment and dedication are a must when it comes to building and maintaining relationships and achieving goals. Thank you, my friend. It's a beautiful price paths help us to understand how we can have three simultaneous strategies at play all the time when we're in the market. We can see from the normalized negative price path if we're getting down there or not, if we're going neutral or we're going up. And we can see all those three strategies simultaneously, which is what we need to do. The human race learns from setbacks, not from positivity. When we get a setback in life, we can do one of two things. We can go into panic and blame, or we can go into learning and courage. Unfortunately, the default is to go into panic and blame. In these zones, Zone 1 and Zone 2, people not only lose the lesson, they lose loved ones, they lose community, they lose relationships, they lose so many things. To be successful in this world, we need to learn how to lose effectively, which means that there's just something that's happened that you don't like, but you learn from it. And how do we do that? We get into Zone 3 and Zone 4, which is all about patience and rules, and also Zone 4, which is about worthiness and meaning. The easiest way of making this real, if you're inside the markets and you've put your money into something and you've lost money, do you panic and get angry, or do you try to understand what rules that you need to learn and then just don't beat yourself up about it, but just forge a new path with greater understanding? In other words, change your behavior. So many people keep on hitting their head against a brick wall inside the markets, never realizing that the brick wall was never there. It's just stubbornness inside us. And why does this happen? Because the people who get into financial markets are amongst the smartest in the world. They're used to winning. They're not used to losing. They're very educated and very smart people. So, of course, they say, oh, I've got to fight this. I've got to be competitive. Competitiveness is an ugly thing, not just in the markets, but in life. The only person you compete against is yourself. If you're seeking to compete against others, you've already lost. It takes many years to become wise, but in becoming wise, you just realize that it's all about patience. It's all about rules. It's not about competition. It's not about what other people have. It's about how you feel. Unfortunately, this world makes us all compare each other against the standard of money, as somehow money will make all of our problems disappear. It was once said that the famous people only want privacy, but the unfamous people want fame. In truth, what everybody wants is fulfillment, meaning, happiness, and success. Success is always a byproduct of doing the right things. Being kind to yourself and learning with humility and patience, that is what will set you up for ultimate success in life. Always make sure that you hold on to inner peace and outer peace. Having integrity, loyalty, and decency is really important. Integrity is simply doing the right thing when no one is looking, and no one will work or operate with people with a lack of integrity for long. Therefore, your success should always be built on solid foundations. That's why money and success come last when it comes to positive excellence, or the CTKS mindset. Life is an absolute marathon. Therefore, we must extract gratitude from each and every day. Extracting gratitude from each and every day, especially when the world isn't going for you at that specific time, is incredibly important. Gratitude is just looking at what you have and saying, this is pretty cool. You'll find in life that there's always somebody better off than you, and always somebody much, much worse off than you as well. Gratitude simply says, I'm honoring where I am right now, and where I am right now is pretty damn good. As a community, we use the CTKS Creed for daily positive affirmations for abundance, financial success, and happiness. A positive affirmation is simply a word that you say, I something. I know the universe wants me to succeed. What you say when you say this is you're saying the universe is conspiring to hand you lessons that you can adapt towards your life to unleash your ultimate potential. We are taught inside the school system that the ultimate way to succeed is simply to compete. That's what we're taught as children. But as we grow older, we understand that competition is nothing to do with success. Competition is a really stupid way to go about doing and organizing your life. What you want to do is to simply become the single best version of yourself that you can be. How do you do that? By being authentic and every day showing kindness, integrity, and gratitude. By doing that, you become a trustworthy person. People who will compete and literally sell their own mothers to gain success are untrustworthy. They lack integrity. They have no gratitude, only entitlement. And people don't work with them. They don't want anything to do with them. The competitive mindset is set up by the same people who set up buy low, sell high, run away in May, sell in May, and go away. The same school system that teaches us to compete and only compete and not cooperate is also the same school system that doesn't teach us anything about emotional management, anything about financial management, or how to succeed in the world. It only teaches us to get a job. Therefore, some of the other things that we say in terms of daily positive affirmations: I know opportunities and life reset daily. I am worthy, I go slow to go fast. I start small and scale with buy on red, sell on green, which is Borsog. Life pullbacks give me the strength for the next life rally. I am dedicated and committed. I win or learn and never blame. And congratulations to all those dedicated and committed people who left comments on the past videos. You're just magnificent people. And always solve your problems with positive excellence, understanding that better habits create a better life, moving away from competition into cooperation, or simply authentic, just making yourself authentic, just bringing out who you are, and being the best version of yourself that you can be is the way to go. Unfortunately, the schooling system also creates and breeds entitlement. Entitlement creates weak minds. Weak minds create a lot of problems in society. But a better mind creates better outcomes, and this is what we want for our community. And know that all results come from the mind. If you're not getting what you want and you're competing to succeed, you're already on the back foot. You must just be authentic, totally authentic, with positive excellence. If you're going through a life pullback at the current time, please know that that's going to give you strength for the next life rally. These diversions that happen in life are very important to look at from a positive perspective. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. A really good thing to talk about in the comments would be the concept of I win or learn and never blame. This is probably the most powerful quote in here inside the CTKS Creed. I'd love to hear, what does that mean for you? How have you used that to become more successful, more authentic, more of your best self? Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and Kate and I look forward to catching up with you again in the next video. Bye for now.